Hi everyone! The story I'll be telling today is Karmic Payment. There once was a family named Lu with 3 sons who lived in Jiangsu during the Ming Dynasty. The eldest son was named Lu Yu, the second son's name was Lu Bao, and the third son was named Lu Zhen. Lu Yu had a son named Xier, who one day when he was only 6 years old became lost on the way to a temple fair. Lu Yu and his wife looked for him everywhere for a long time, but it was in vain. Lu Yu was very depressed, but still had to leave his wife and attend to his business. Everywhere he went, he looked for his son. One day, several years later, he came to a place called Chen Liu. There, he found a green cloth bag in a bathroom. When he opened it, he saw there were about 200 taels of silver. Lu Yu thought, someone who lost such a huge amount of money must be very anxious. I must wait here and return it to him. Lu Yu waited for an entire day, but no one came to claim the bag. He had no choice but to continue on his trip. As he traveled on the road, he noticed a motel and decided to sleep there. After entering the motel, he started chatting with a businessman named Chen. Mr. Chen told him with a sigh that he lost a bag of silver in a town named Chen Liu. After Chen described the bag and the amount of silver, Lu Yu immediately brought out the bag and gave it to him. Chen became so excited he wanted to give half of the silver to Lu Yu, who firmly refused. To show his gratitude, Chen invited Lu Yu to his home. On the way to Chen's home, Lu Yu explained that he had traveled all around and was looking for his lost son. When Chen heard his story, he said that his family had purchased a little boy several years ago. The boy was now about 13 years old. Chen promised that he would give this boy to Lu Yu in gratitude for returning the silver taels. As soon as they arrived at Chen's home, he called the boy out. Lu Yu noticed that there was a scar on the boy's left eyebrow. He was shocked because his son was hurt when he was 4 years old, and it left a scar there. He asked the boy where he was born and who sold him. The boy only remembered that his father's name was Lu Yu, and he also knew he had 2 uncles. He remembered being kidnapped and sold. Lu Yu held the boy tightly and exclaimed, "I'm your father! I've looked for you for several years." Chen's family was very happy to see the father and son reunited. Lu Yu said, "If you did not keep my son in your family, there's no way I could have found him." Chen replied, "It's because of your great virtue from returning the silver. The gods led you to my home so that you could be reunited with your son." The next morning, Chen gave Lu Yu 20 taels of silver for the boat fare home. Then, the father and son headed home. When they arrived at the riverbank, they heard urgent voices shouting loudly. When Lu Yu got closer, he saw that a boat was sinking in the river and people on the boat were desperately calling for help. The people on the riverbank were arguing with the boatmen over the price of rescuing the drowning people. Lu Yu thought, saving a life is even more important than building a 7-story Buddha pagoda. I have 20 taels of silver in my bag. I will use the money to save their lives. So he told the boatmen, "Hurry! Whoever saves all the drowning people, I will give him 20 taels of silver." Upon hearing this, all the boatmen hurried to the sinking boat. Soon, everyone in the boat was saved. Lu Yu, as promised, gave all the silver to the boatmen. Suddenly, someone from the group of rescued people called out to him, "Elder brother, where did you come from?" Immediately, Lu Yu recognized his 3rd younger brother, Lu Zhen. Lu Yu sighed and told Lu Zhen the whole story. Lu Zhen said, "It was your great virtue of giving away 20 taels of silver that saved my life." Lu Yu asked his brother, "Why are you here?" Lu Zhen said, "After you left home, we hadn't heard from you for several years. Someone said you died in Shanxi, and your wife began wearing mourning clothes every day. Our brother Lu Bao forced her to marry to another person for money, but your wife refused. Let's hurry home, otherwise you may never see her again." The two brothers hurried home. The second son, Lu Bao, was not so kind. He heard someone lost his wife in Shanxi and wanted to buy another woman for 30 taels of silver. Lu Bao tried to force his sister-in-law to marry that man. Lu Bao was given the silver, but he knew that his sister-in-law refused the marriage. So he told the people from Shanxi to secretly grab the woman wearing a mourning bun. Still worried, on the wedding day, Lu Bao told his wife to go persuade Lu Yu's wife. Lu Yu's wife retorted, "I'm still wearing mourning clothes for my husband. I'm even wearing the mourning bun. How can I marry another man?" Lu Bao's wife immediately took off her own hair bun and exchanged it with her. At dusk, people from Shanxi brought the flower-decorated wedding sedan to Lu Bao's home. As soon as they arrived, they opened the gate and grabbed Lu Bao's wife, who was wearing a mourning bun, and shoved her into the wedding sedan. She shouted, "It's not me! You've got the wrong woman!" They refused to listen, closed the door on the wedding sedan, and hurried away with it. The next day, when Lu Bao returned, he did not see his wife. Instead, he saw his sister-in-law still there, wearing his wife's hair bun. He immediately suspected what happened and asked her about it. His sister-in-law told him how his wife had exchanged hair buns with her. Lu Bao was shocked and beat his chest in bitterness. His plan to sell his sister-in-law for money backfired. Instead, he sold his own wife. As Lu Bao stood in the doorway, he noticed 3 people coming towards the house. They were his elder brother Lu Yu, his younger brother Lu Zhen, and his nephew Xier. He felt so ashamed that he could not face them. Lu Bao turned and ran out the back door, and no one ever saw him again. Thank you for listening to today's story. Be sure to like and follow for more stories next time.